That's the best of the best of the best of the best of the best that this world has to offer.
What's going on, everyone? For WrestleTrivia, I'm your host, Kevin J. Callis.
Yeah!
And you're watching another episode of Wrestling Jeopardy, the ultimate interactive game show where you're the contestant.
Exactly.
So let's go to the board now and check out the categories you'll be quizzed on. Starting with these boots are made for wrestling, followed by the Hart Foundation. Our third category, we're running it back because I got so much positive feedback from you. If you missed it, here's a little example of what this category is all about. So the clue would read, R-Truth's invisible friend and Jay's twin. And the answer to this would be Little Jimmy Uso.
That's what's up.
Our fourth category is all about your Olympic hero and mine, Kurt Angle. And our fifth and final category, brought to you this week by our members of the WrestleTrivia fan club. The choices were backstabbers, odd couples, and sidekicks. And the winner with over 50% of the votes, odd couples.
It doesn't matter, Booker!
And that sound means it's time for the 200-point jobber round. These will be the easiest questions you'll encounter in this episode of Wrestling Jeopardy. All right, so let's kick things off with the first clue of the jobber round from These Boots Are Made for Wrestling. Name this wrestler's famous footwear. You know him, you love him. F that jabroni Hulk Hogan forever. Who is the Iron Sheik? And that brings us to the second clue of the jobber round from the Hart Foundation. Famously known as the Mouth of the South, this manager guided the Hart Foundation to their first WWE World Tag Team Championship. Boy, this manager had some major heat at the Raw debut on Netflix. Who is the Mouth of the South? Jimmy Hart. Moving on to the third clue of the jobber round from Before and After. The founder of Hit Row and Big Papa Pump. And the answer we're looking for here is Isaiah Swerve Scott Steiner. We're on to the fourth clue of the jobber round from your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle. This is still Kurt Angle's favorite beverage, even if he's had to slowly work his way down to drinking skim. And the reason he can't drink whole milk or 2% milk anymore is because he's had like 85 knee operations. The correct answer, of course, moo juice. What is milk? And let's close out the jobber round with this clue from Odd Couples. Whether they were eating in a restaurant together, attending anger management with Dr. Shelby, or dishing out old school raps, these two were as entertaining as any tag team in WWE history. And that would be the GOAT, Daniel Bryan, and the Big Red Machine, Kane, aka Team Hell No. All right, hopefully you made it through the jobber round. You got 5 questions right. You got yourself 1,000 points. It's a good start to the game.
You go.
No,
Yeah.
you go.
You go.
No, you go.
You go.
Here comes the first clue of the 400-point round from Wrestling Boots. Name this wrestler's famous footwear. One boot said Cosmic, the other boot said Wasteland. The correct answer, who is Stardust, aka Cody Rhodes? And we're on to the 400-point clue from the Hart Foundation. One of the featured events at WrestleMania 2 was a 20-man battle royal won by this wrestler after he ousted both Hart and Neidhart. And that would be the 8th Wonder of the World, Andre the Giant. Moving on to the 400-point clue from Before and After. The Rowdy Scotsman and Dewdrop's current ring name. And the answer we're looking for here is Rowdy Roddy Piper Niven. That brings us to another clue from Kurt Angle's category, and this is going to be worth 400 points. Returning to WWE as the general manager of Monday Night Raw in 2017, Angle would reveal that this member of the American Alpha Tag Team was his long-lost son. No, it wasn't Chad Gable, it was actually Jason Jordan. And let's finish up the 400-point round with this clue from Odd Couples. At SummerSlam 2021, RK Bro won the Raw Tag Team Championship by defeating this random pairing. Now, if you think that Randy Orton and Matt Riddle are an odd couple, I would argue that AJ Styles and Omos are even more of an odd couple.
What?
All right, 10 questions down, 15 to go, plus the daily doubles floating around, and we also have Final Jeopardy coming up at the end. But let's jump into the 600-point round and start off with a clue from These Boots Are Made for Wrestling. Name this wrestler's famous footwear. And that would be the Man back when she was in her steampunk gimmick, who is Becky Lynch. On to another clue from the Hart Foundation, and this is worth 600 points. 3 years after defeating the British Bulldogs to capture their first World Tag Team Championship, the Hitman and the Anvil bested this team to reclaim the titles. And this happened at SummerSlam 1990 when the Hart Foundation defeated Demolition in the best 2 out of 3 falls. And that brings us to the 600-point clue from Before and After: Sexual Chocolate and Phineas's brother. And that would be Mark Henry O. Godwin. Moving on to Kurt Angle for 600. Your Olympic hero was famous for preaching his 3 I's of intensity, integrity, and what? And it was his 3 I's of intensity, integrity, and intelligence. And let's close out the 600-point round with this clue from Odd Couples. What happens when you take this uptight Englishman and pair him with this fun-loving Japanese superstar? The answer is pure comedy. Who is William Regal and Tajiri? We're on to the 800-point round. Here comes a clue from Wrestling Boots. Name this wrestler's famous footwear. This one might have fooled you. You might have thought maybe that's John Morrison, but it's actually Tyler Breeze. Moving on to the Hart Foundation for 800. At In Your House 16 Canadian Stampede, the Hart Foundation defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Legion of Doom, Ken Shamrock, and this wrestler. Who is Goldust? And that brings us to more Before and After. This one for 800. God, I love this category. The Scapegoat of AEW and Moppy's bestie. And that would be Jack Perry Saturn. Here comes the 800-point clue from Kurt Angle. In his debut match at the 1999 Survivor Series, Angle defeated this second-generation wrestler. And that would be the artist formerly known as Meat, Sean Stasiak. And let's finish up the 800-point round with this clue from Odd Couples. Originally slated for 14 minutes, the legendary This Is Your Life segment featuring The Rock and Mankind sparked backstage turmoil when it ran long and lasted this many minutes. One of the highest rated segments in the history of Monday Night Raw ran 12 minutes over its allotted time of 14 minutes. The correct answer is 26 minutes.
Hey, Oos, please hit my music.
All right, we've reached the most difficult round in Wrestling Jeopardy. It's the main event.
Yeet!
5 1,000-point questions guaranteed to put your knowledge to the test.
What do you think of that?
So lace up your boots and strap them on tight, because here comes the final clue from These Boots Are Made for Wrestling. Name this wrestler's fancy footwear. One of the greatest ever to do it, who is Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero. And that brings us to the 1,000-point clue from the Hart Foundation. Alrighty then, here we go. It is the daily double for this episode. The category is the Hart Foundation. How much do you know about the Pink and Black Attack? Well, place your wager now. All right, time is up. Here is this episode's Daily Double Clue. In July 1991, the Hart Foundation wrestled their last televised match as a duo and lost via DQ to this team. The Hart Foundation took the L via DQ versus the Nasty Boys when Brett walloped both Knobs and Sags with Jimmy Hart's motorcycle helmet. Moving on to the final clue from Before and After. Brian Pillman Jr. in NXT and the Walking Condominium from Atlantic City. And that would be Lexus King Kong Bundy. All right, 2 clues left. Here comes the final clue from Kurt Angle, worth 1,000 points. When Kurt won his Olympic gold medal in 1996, he defeated Abbas Jadidi, a wrestler from this Middle Eastern country. Oh man, we're basically going full circle here. The first clue in this game was the Iron Sheik, who hails from Iran, which is also where Abbas Jadidi was from. And let's close out the board with the final clue from Odd Couples, worth 1,000. Before Head Cheese's match at WrestleMania 2000, Al Snow surprised Steve Blackman with a mascot named this. And the correct answer, who is Chester McCheeserton? All right, don't go anywhere. It's Final Jeopardy time. Let's find out what this episode's category is. Breathtaking bumps. All right, take a moment to tally up your score and then place your Final Jeopardy wager right now. All right, time is up. Here comes the Final Jeopardy clue. In a match against the 1-2-3 Kid on an episode of WWF Superstars in 1994, this wrestler pulled off a breathtaking bump through the ring ropes and onto the arena floor. Was it A, Chris Hamrick, B, Leaping Lanny Poffo, or C, Reno Riggins? Good luck. Former ECW wrestler and mid-90s WWE TV taping fodder Chris Hamrick never left a glittering legacy in professional wrestling, but he did donate this absolutely f***ing brilliant bump. And that does it for another episode of Wrestling Jeopardy. Thanks so much for playing. Make sure you watch all the other episodes of Wrestling Jeopardy. Kudos to all these folks here who are WrestleTrivia fan club members. My name is Kevin J. Callis, and I'll see you next time